I've always said I do not believe in work-life balance. I believe in work-life harmony. And when you have the personal branding, the ability to leverage yourself the way that I share with you in this video, that is achievable. You can definitely do that. Hey guys, it is your girl, Andrea Patrick. Welcome back to my channel. I am the Beauty Boss. As you know, we have been doing a series here on the channel, Your Style Story. Now, the purpose of this series, and I hope you gathered it over the last 8 weeks. By the way, if you're new here, howdy, please subscribe. Join our Boss Beauties. We are here living our value, loving ourselves enough to be ourselves so that we can lead with intention and purpose. I share real tips and real talk so that you can achieve real success in your life, career, and or business. That's what we talk about here normally on the channel. But one of the things that I really wanted to highlight with this series was the fact that when you are out growing your business, climbing the corporate ladder, or being an outstanding citizen in your community, your clothes, your personal style really is speaking a message for you. Oftentimes, it is speaking before your mouth ever has the opportunity to. So today, to close out this series, I thought we would do a video where I highlighted some of my favorite questions and answers and just all around comedy of series. There are some serious moments, but I will highlight those throughout. But basically, I'm going to be narrating in this week's video so that you can get a little taste of what happened in this series this season. Now, before we even go any further, I want to make sure that you know I want to hear from you. So please comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the series. If you've not watched it, we will put the link down in the description box so that you can go ahead and just play on, have a day where you just do a marathon of Your Style Story. Because another season is coming up and I want to hear from you about some of your personal style questions and maybe some challenges that you've run into maybe in your job or in your business or in your community. And I will definitely address those in our next season. Also, hearing from you tells me if there will ever be another season. So make sure you're commenting, because I want to know. This isn't something you're interested in, we won't continue to do it, but I definitely think the information is necessary. And I think it's very good for you to see how other people are using their personal style to grow and to share their style narrative with those around them. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started with today's video and start off with video number 1. And that was a video called 3 Reasons Your Personal Style Matters. I have my notes here and I will go through and tell you what I think. Now, in this particular video, guys, I really enjoyed the end. Although I was giving you 3 reasons why your personal style matters, please go check out what the 3 reasons were. At the very end of the video, I share with you a pretty profound statement, and I talk about writing a script, and that script being what people are going to know about you and understand about you before your words ever get a chance to be spoken. And I thought that that was just such a profound moment, and I hope if you saw that in real time, you caught that at the end. If you didn't, please make sure you head over there and watch that video and leave me a comment and tell me what you think about the quote that I gave you at the end of the video. Okay, before we get to the next video, I just wanted to point something out. We started Your Style Story before we actually started counting Your Style Story, if that makes sense, the videos. I wanted to include videos where I am doing some of the transitional things with my wardrobe because I think it was important to include that as you begin to develop your own style story. Understanding my style guide, I give you that. Also understanding how I kind of transition my closet out from season to season and what I do. I think it was really important to share that with you. So I don't officially start counting the Your Style Story videos until we start the interviews, but I will do a better job next year starting them at the beginning when we do the transition of my wardrobe. Just a little caveat there. But the next video, let's dive into it. I am sharing with you my closet reset. Now, that is where I go in each season and I transition my wardrobe from the previous season to the coming season. And there is a lot that goes into that. There is a lot of thought that happens with that. But I think this is a great opportunity for you to make some decisions about whether or not your style, whether or not the pieces in your wardrobe are officially speaking the narrative that you want it to speak. Is it telling the story you want it to tell? If it isn't, it's within this closet reset that you will be able to make the changes and get the voice, get the narrative that you actually want to speak. Now, one of the things that I talk about in this particular video is the idea of not rushing out to purchase brand new things and throwing out your entire wardrobe. You'll see when we get to the video with Tiffany where I'm sharing with you the idea that it's not important for you to like throw everything out with the bathwater, but to start thinking about some of the elements of your style. Are you enjoying pants, let's say, or do you prefer to wear dresses and skirts? Are you a heel wearer, or have you decided that it's time to throw the heels out the window? This is the perfect time to make some of those decisions, but it's going to take a little bit of thought and really understanding your lifestyle, the dynamics of your day-to-day. But this video was fun. One of the things that I also share with you in this video is my book, Decoded. I am going to leave a link below. This book has been updated and is now an ebook. You can find the original on Amazon. I will link them both, but I have updated it and created an ebook that is just so good. I absolutely love it. So make sure that you go down into the description, grab that ebook, because it is going to outline for you in detail my style guide that will help you with your style reset as you transition your wardrobe from season to season. Again, I said this is a perfect time for you to actually make some of those decisions about what your style story is going to be. So I certainly encourage you to grab my book, Decoded. It's an ebook that you can grab from my website. Go ahead and go through that because it talks a lot about some things that I don't talk about in the video as it relates to actually editing pieces from your wardrobe. Okay, so moving on to the next video inside this series. It's called How I Fill the Gaps in My Wardrobe. Now, this was a fun video that I don't typically do. It was a haul. And the reason that I included this haul was because in my reset, there were some holes or gaps in my wardrobe that I needed to fill. And I think that we all run into this issue when we are going through our closets. And I think what happens a lot of times is that because we're not conscious of what we want our style story to be, we haven't decided on the types of pieces or the elements that we enjoy and are most comfortable in. We end up going to malls or to stores and we'll see a sale sign and we'll gravitate to that and we'll buy things because it's our favorite color, or we'll buy things because it is on sale and it only costs $3. Well, guys, the truth of the matter is that those $3 purchases add up. $3 10 times is $30. $30 10 times is $300. So I know you can see where I'm going with this. It is so easy if you've not established what you want your style story to be. It's so easy to go in these stores and just start buying things up because it's on sale. And then you end up with a closet full of things that you'll never wear or that you don't even like or don't fit you well. So my suggestion here is once you've done your closet reset is to do what I did. Go fill the gaps in your wardrobe. And it's a small shop, and then you can look for those on sale items. But the other caveat here is purchasing items that you can wear 3 different ways. I think I talk about that in a video that I am doing with Brock when we talk about shopping. But I tell my clients when you are purchasing items, whether it's filling a gap or even if it's a spontaneous purchase, before you purchase that item, think of 3 different ways you can wear it. And that way it makes it easier on your pocket because you have a lower cost per wear. So there's that little piece of advice. The other thing I like about this particular video is that I'm sharing with you a little more detail, exactly what the Style Story series is all about. So if you, up until this point, still haven't figured it out, I think this video is going to be very helpful in explaining to you the purpose of your Style Story series. Maybe it'll even encourage you to subscribe to my channel and leave me some comments about what you'd like to see in next season. All right, let's move on into our, the 4th video of the series where we're talking about how to create a capsule wardrobe and why I think it's important. Well, guys, I mean, you've seen these videos all over town, people talking about capsule wardrobes and how it's helpful from season to season. And I do give lots of good advice in this video, but one of the main points that I want you to pick up on is the question where I'm asking you about how do you want to feel? I'm talking about things like your wardrobe should feel really good, whether it's a colorful wardrobe, maybe those colors will make you feel more enthusiastic, more joyful in the season. It was just a really good question. I was talking about transitioning from winter to spring, and I was saying how, you want to ask yourself, how do you want to feel? How do you want this wardrobe to make you feel in this particular season? And I wanted to emphasize the fact that we're going from winter to spring. So that means we're thinking about rejuvenation, new beginnings, happiness, joy. And so that could bring with it color and patterns and happiness. But if that's not you, I thought that there was some great tips in here about how you could incorporate some of these things into a more neutral palette if that's what you're interested in, because that's what we typically see from the vloggers on YouTube. But I really enjoyed this video, and I think it gives great tips on how you can create and why you should create a capsule wardrobe for yourself. If you've never thought of it, trust me, it really is helpful because it gives you less to think about throughout the season. Once you've decided on the reset and you've figured out what you need to fill in order to close in those gaps in your wardrobe, now you can start to think about, okay, how do I want to feel? How do I want my clothes to help me make me feel? And you can start picking those things. If it's color, if it's patterns, if it's sparkle. There is an interview that I do where we talk about sparkle. So it is really helpful to you to understand kind of how to create the capsule wardrobe and sort of what you need to do. And it just kind of helps you decide whether or not it is for you. But I highly, highly recommend. Okay, the next video was all about the capsule. And I showed you my capsule wardrobe, what I was picking. And I shared it with you in like styles, in categories. So I did dresses, I did shorts, I did, jackets and cover-ups and things like that, because I thought that was helpful because some of you aren't dress wearers, some of you aren't, shorts wearers, but to have an idea of the fact that you have the different shapes that you can wear. And I am sharing with you that I enjoy the A-line shape because I think it's flattering and it is very comfortable for me. And I am one who truly enjoys dresses in the summertime. I am a very hot-natured person, which you will see in these videos because I've got so much sweat happening and I'm just perspiring in my studio. And so I had to find a fan. Towards the end of it, it gets better because I actually start using a fan so I'm not like sweating under the lights and everything. But I do believe that having this capsule wardrobe and sharing with you is very helpful because maybe it gives you some ideas about what you can choose for your own capsule wardrobe. Let's see what happened in the next video. We are talking about you are your brand and embracing your personal style. Now this video, I had a lot of points that I kind of wanted to talk about. And I loved how I talk about how passionate I am about this series and that I'm talking to you and I'm sharing with you that this is me. I'm being interviewed by my friend, Miss Katrina, and it's the first one. And I think the vulnerability here is sharing with you that there are probably going to be bloopers and being okay with that. I think it speaks to the idea of a point that I've made in some of my other videos where I talk about done is better than perfect. And you can't really rely on things being perfect. You just have to go out there and do it and have fun. And I also think that it highlights the fact that transparency is just really good. Like nobody complained about the fact that I said, there are going to be bloopers or there could be some mishaps or some challenges. And I believe that all that sweat that was coming off of me was a blooper in and of itself. I mean, my sweat has it was a character in the series. If I'm being honest, I apologize, but that's been my life, my entire life. I am just a hot-natured person, and I'm hot. Anyway, I do love that. I wanted you to see how passionate I was in the beginning. So I wanted to be interviewed by my girlfriend, Miss Katrina. And I think that just in giving the control over to someone else to ask the questions, and I think the passion and the, you can hear the enthusiasm in my voice in this video, and I love that. And I hope that you have something in your life that makes you feel just as good. But when I tell you, talking about personal style, personal branding, leadership, it just gets my juices flowing, and I just absolutely love it. And I think that I love this part of the video so much because it showcases that. And if you didn't believe me, or if you just we're stumbling on these videos. I think that shows a lot of my enthusiasm and my passion for helping you all find your personal style, help you use who you are to do and be your best in everything that you are trying to do and be your best at. The other thing I share with you in this video is my definition of personal branding. There's so many different videos out here about personal branding, how to develop a personal brand. I talk more to leveraging who you are in order to get the things that you want to get. And I share with you my definition of personal branding, the one that I've used for almost 20 years now. And I think it's going to be helpful to you, especially when you are surfing the net, trying to find help with your marketing, trying to find help with your leadership skills. I do believe that understanding the definition of personal branding that I use is going to help you identify some things that you need to work on in order to leverage who you are, monetize who you are, be comfortable with who you are. And as you know, if you are an OG, I've always said I do not believe in work-life balance. I believe in work-life harmony. And when you have the personal branding, the ability to leverage yourself the way that I share with you in this video, that is achievable. You can definitely do that. Now, before I move any further into the video, I just wanted to let you know that Your Style Story is really highlighting the idea of nonverbal communication, how your personal style really does speak for you. It is a form of communication, but communication is a huge component in your ability to be successful, no matter where you are trying to be successful. Here is a video that I did recently about a conversation I was having with a client, and she was trying to onboard someone, and I highlight 3 pillars of success, and I also give you a really good solution to that. And so watch this video, and then I will come back and finish out my compilation video.
I want to share 3 things with you that I think are holding you back, and then I'm going to give you the answer to how you can overcome those 3 things. The first one is fear. Fear is holding you back. Maybe it's because of imposter syndrome. Maybe it's because of limiting beliefs. Maybe it's negative self-talk, or maybe it is just low self-esteem. You are afraid to take the leap, to do the thing, to grow, to do something different to get a different result. The next thing is communication. Communication is a struggle because there are 2 different types. You might only be focusing on one. There is the verbal communication, where you're using your words. Now, inside of that, you might be using the wrong words. Maybe you are not taking into account what other people need to hear, how they need to hear it in order for them to absorb what it is you're saying and then act on it. Next is nonverbal communication. The way you look, your personal style, the way you show up, the reputation you have. This also plays a key role in some of the things that you are trying to do. And lastly, it is your bandwidth. When it comes to your bandwidth, the first thing I'll say is maybe you don't have a personal operating system. I talk about this in detail inside my membership, and then also within the bandwidth section. Maybe you haven't created a company culture and you are bringing in the wrong people. That brings me to your onboarding process. If you are not bringing on the right people, then you are making a huge mistake. Inside the book Good to Great, they talk about the very first question you should ask yourself is who, not what, not where, but who. Next is collaborating with people. When it comes to your bandwidth, are you choosing the right partnerships? All of this is contributing to your inability to get where it is you're trying to go. That is why I have the answer. It's confidence. You need confidence. But how do you get confidence, you ask? When you learn what it is you need to live your value, you'll be able to love yourself enough to be yourself. And when you can love yourself enough to be yourself, there's nothing left for you to do but lead with intention and purpose. There you have it. If you've been having challenges, whether it's in your life, career, and or business, I just shared with you the 3 main reasons, and I gave you the answer. There you have it.
All right, now the point of me sharing that with you is that though communication is one of those 3 pillars of success, if you don't have it down pat, I wanted you to understand that your style story is a form of nonverbal communication. And if you want to be able to communicate effectively in this way, it is important for you to know yourself, which is why I am going to encourage you and invite you to join the Project CEO membership. If you remember correctly, we do have a program, Project CEO. It is my signature program, but we have made it a little bit more accessible to those of you who aren't ready to get the full package yet, but want to have access to the information. We have started the Project CEO membership. So much fun, so much more accessible. And I just think that if you like your style story, I wanted you to just know that this is all a part of some of those things that could be keeping you or holding you back from seeing the success that you haven't seen before. It's not just fashion, it's actually speaking for you in some instances. And so if you're struggling with that or other areas, I suggest that you join me over in Project CEO membership, and I will help you with those other 2 success killers as well. Now let's get back to the videos. All right, so the next video that I did, this was, I have to say, my favorite video. If I'm being honest, I have to just say that interviewing my husband was truly the highlight of this series for me. I happen to think that my husband is extremely stylish. He always has been. I even speak to that effect in the video where I'm sharing with you how we used to get ready to go somewhere very simple and he would always just be so dressed up and I would be like, oh my gosh, can we please just wear sweatpants and a t-shirt? So he really helped to elevate my game as well, so that, you know, even just casual settings, it's okay to be casual, but you can do it elevated casual. So he did help me with that. But just saying this is just, he was really my favorite interview. If I'm being honest, he was my favorite. But the highlight of this video, I have to say, is him sharing with you his style crush. I mean, guys, I have been with my husband for 33 years, almost 34. It'll be 34 in June of 2025. He has said this same thing, and every time we see this movie or we see this video, this man talks about these items. He does it every single time. This is without fail. I think you could even see it in the video where I am saying, I'm just kind of thinking you can see my wheels turning, saying he says it every single time. Like, he is definitely my husband. This is not an imposter. And it's so, so funny. So if you've not watched that episode, please go and check that out because it is just hilarious. All right, moving on to the next video. We are going to unlock your style potential, and we are talking to a boutique owner. My girlfriend, Tiffany Evans, was the former boutique owner, lover of fashion and style as myself, and she showed up with some pearls of wisdom. But I have to say, one of the things that really did stand out in this video for me was her description of her outfit. And she's talking about wearing a blazer, and I gave it really did spark something in my head that I didn't have on the script. It wasn't one of the questions, but this is something that I've talked about with my style clients in the past, and creating a line. So I'll tell you that you'll see that in the cutaway where I'm sharing that with you. But I really do believe that it is important for you to find those little things that just make you comfortable, make you feel better in your clothes. And this piece of advice is one of those things. Another thing in this video that I thought was very helpful that came out, and Tiffany kind of just stumbled on it. It wasn't even a part of one of the questions, but we start talking about your body types, the different body types, and how to dress those body types. Oftentimes you see people in the grocery store. I don't know about you, but there have been times, I'm not proud, but it's true, where I see people in outfits and I just think to myself, just because they make it in your size does not mean you should have purchased it. And I think that happens because people are not cognizant of their body type and they don't really know how to dress it. And so when Tiffany made these comments in this video, it was the perfect opportunity to highlight the different body types and just brief tips on how to dress those body types. So love that section of the video there. And I really loved her pinwheel game because I think, and this was I mentioned earlier, I think that we are paralyzed when it comes to doing our closet reset, because maybe there are items in our closet that we don't like and that we don't want. But if your style story is not really being represented in your wardrobe, instead of trying to throw everything away, see if there are some salvageable pieces. And I think within this video, this interview, when Tiffany is doing her pinwheel game, we talked about that and how sometimes you can make things work, but it's about knowing what it is that you really want and understanding how you really want to feel in your clothes, and then being able to look at a piece of clothing and adjust it and make it do what you want it to do. We talk about that in another interview with Romy as well, towards the end of the series. But I just think that those are valuable pieces of information, valuable tips that you can just take with you and use when it's time for your closet reset. the body type information, and then also the pinwheel game, and then just tips that we talked about at the top of the video. All right, let's move on to the next video, and that is when I am talking to a professional, a quasi-celebrity, and that is Brock, the worship leader at our church. He is very stylish, and he has what he calls a more urban street style look these days that has evolved over time. And like I mentioned in the video, I can see the transition, the transformation, and I absolutely love it. He is so stylish. But one of the things that I loved about his video is he talks about sustainable shopping. And guys, he left that video. I gave him the name of a resale shop here in our area, showed him, gave him directions on how to get there. He literally left this interview and went to that place. And when I saw him at church the next day, because we did an interview on Saturday, he was wearing the item that he had purchased. So he really does practice what he preaches. And I really do appreciate that about him. And I think the fact that it was from a male perspective was also just a gem. Because a lot of times there, if you're a woman and you're watching this video, you may be purchasing clothes for your husband and you may not have thought to go to a consignment shop. But I promise you, sustainable shopping is amazing, especially if you like high-end pieces, if you want luxury items. Sometimes you can find those pieces, or maybe not the high-end luxury in a lot of instances, depending on your area, but you can find some really good brands in those consignment and those resale shops. Matter of fact, if I'm being honest, I was just in North Carolina this past week. My girlfriend and I went to the Goodwill there, and I found some amazing red pants that I just have to have him, and they're in perfect condition, and I've already washed them, and they're hanging up in my closet right now, waiting to go to the tailor. So don't discount resale. I think that was a great piece that came out of that video. Another thing that came out of that video was Brock answered a question, and in his answer, he talked about dressing speaks to your credibility. And I'm glad he said it. I've been saying it forever, but I'm glad someone else said it. As a performer, his credibility is important. As a gospel performer, his credibility is even more important because people are listening to him and they're looking to him as someone that they are, fellowshipping with and have certain expectations around. And so he truly believed that his style, the way he dresses, speaks to his credibility. Additionally, he talked about how it is inspirational to other people. As you know, if you're in the church, sometimes there is a certain dialogue around the way you look and the way you dress. And if people feel like they have to look a certain way or they have to fit into a certain mold in order to be a Christian, in order to be in church, they may not come to church. But because Brock has really taken that into consideration with his style story, what he recognizes is not only does the way he dressed makes him credible, but the way he dressed can also be an inspiration and draw people to the church. And I thought that was such a key piece of information. The church may not be where you're trying to draw people, but the fact that it is showcasing your credibility and could potentially be inspirational to those that you need to influence. Hands down, a great piece of information from that video. And there were so many other things that I think were valuable from that interview. So I definitely recommend you going to watch that as well. All right, now we get into Romy. Now, Romy is my girl. She is like the girl's girl. If you look at the comments on this video, there's someone who actually says as much. Romy is the girl. And I absolutely adore her. I have loved her for years. We met each other at a bloggers conference years ago, prior to my stint as a fashion stylist, when I was actually going to New York multiple times a year for Fashion Week and helping work fashion shows and helping to style people. Romy is that girl she dresses so nicely, and I think she talks a lot about how she comes up with that and the way she wants to show up, and I think it was very valuable. She made some really good points where she talked about her fashion and the fact that she's inspired not just by her fashion style, but where she's going. And she actually puts thought into showing up the way, showing up for that particular event and really taking the event into consideration, not just how she wants to feel comfortable, but also being comfortable, being in step with the event itself, but also being very original and authentic and unique in her style. I mean, just the pictures of her. I mean, we put up pictures of her in this video and she just puts it down every single time. And one of the things that I love that she said when she talked about her fashion style, she says that she's inspired by where she's going and she wants her look to be timeless. She said that she wants to look back on her pictures 40 years from now and they still be stylish. She wants to, they don't look dated. They don't look like, oh, well, they were trendy for that time. She wants the Audrey Hepburn look where it's just a timeless, seamless look, but she wants to do that in a very unique and authentic way. And she definitely accomplishes that. That was my favorite part of that video, how she answered that question. And now, guys, we get to the end of the road. Our very last video was with Miss Cynthia Thompson, and I wanted this to be the last video of the interviews because of its importance. We are often talking about mental health in this country and the need for people to, get help and be encouraged. We have, affiliates to Better Health. We have affiliates to other online mental health applications and opportunities, but your style story could also be something that helps you with your mental health. And Cynthia is really doing a fantastic job describing that in this portion of the video. It was my absolute favorite part of the video, even though Cynthia is extremely bubbly, the most lively person. I absolutely adore her. But in this video, in this particular section of the video, she is answering the question about how her style story helps her with her anxiety. And it's not that she does a great job explaining that it's not that it's going to go away, but she talks about how it can be very helpful. So I highly encourage you, if you have anxiety, to look at this video with Cynthia, because I think it's very, very helpful. And it really alludes back to the idea that I was talking about when I talked about your capsule wardrobe and identifying how you want it to feel in the season. Your clothes can help you feel that way, especially if they fit you appropriately, if they are speaking the story that you want it to speak. Guys, you will begin to hear compliments on people talking about how you look and how awesome you look, and that makes you feel good. So that brings me to the end of the video and my motto when it comes to your personal style story. If you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good about how you look, you have confidence. That confidence is going to get you where you need to go. It's going to speak a message for you when words are not an option. And it is going to show your credibility. It's going to help you be an inspiration to other people. And it's going to make people stand up and listen, and you'll be able to influence things, which makes you an amazing leader. All right, guys, that does it for this series. I cannot believe it is over, but I'm so thankful that you were here for it. Please, I am begging you, if you made it to the end of this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Please comment, leave a comment and tell me what you think of the series, and also share with me some of your questions or some things that you'd like for us to cover in the next season. Because if you don't do that, I don't know if you want there to be another season. So listen, if you are a friend of mine watching this video and you watch it to the end, leave a comment. Leave a comment and tell me what you thought of the series, what kind of questions you might have about developing your own personal style story, and we'll make sure to answer those questions in the next season. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Bye.